In the vast tapestry of American history, the Wild West stands as a mythic crucible of opportunity and violence. It was a sprawling frontier where dreams of fortune clashed with the harsh realities of survival. Lawmen and outlaws shaped legends that endure to this day. A mosaic of cultures. Native American tribes, Mexican vaqueros, Chinese laborers, freed slaves, European immigrants, and Anglo-American settlers laid claim to a land both majestic and unforgiving. From the California gold rush of 1848, when prospectors swarmed the Sierra Nevada foothills in search of instant wealth, to the silver boom of Nevada's Comstock Lode, which gave rise to roaring boom towns like Virginia City, the siren song of precious metals drew hundreds of thousands westward on perilous trails that tested the limits of human endurance. The U.S. government responded by forging the Transcontinental Railroad and the telegraph network, engineering marvels that shrank the continent and accelerated the flow of people, goods, and news. Yet this march of progress collided violently with the indigenous nations whose ancestral homelands spanned the Great Plains through the Rocky Mountains. Tragic conflicts such as the Sand Creek Massacre of 1864, the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, and the Wounded Knee Massacre in 1890 underscored the brutal dispossession of the Cheyenne, Lakota, Crow, and countless other tribes. Their resistance inspired both awe and fear among settlers, and their skilled horsemanship and resilience left an indelible mark on cowboy culture. Speaking of cowboys, those iconic figures, often romanticized yet born of necessity, embarked on long cattle drives along the Chisholm and Goodnight-loving trails, moving herds of Texas Longhorns northward to railheads in Kansas, where beef would feed a growing nation. In the process, they pioneered cowboy gear, from Stetson hats and bandanas to lariats and chaps. Borrowed or adapted from Mexican ranching traditions, a cultural exchange rarely acknowledged yet deeply influential. At the same time, lawlessness reigned in burgeoning settlements like Dodge City, Tombstone, and Deadwood. The lack of formal governance invited notorious figures such as Jesse James, whose daring bank and train robberies captured the popular imagination, and Billy the Kid, a wiry gunslinger whose legend grew despite his mere 21 years of life. Belle Starr, the so-called bandit queen, blurred the lines between gender norms with her exploits. On the other side of the badge, men like Wyatt, Earp, Pat, Garrett, Bat Masterson, and Bass Reeves, one of the first black deputy U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi, brought their own blend of frontier justice. They sometimes bent or broke the very laws they swore to uphold, as in the infamous 1881 shootout at the OK Corral, a 30-second burst of gunfire that would be retold in countless dime novels and Hollywood westerns. Sensational journalism and cheap pulp fiction fueled the public's fascination with these tales, while real towns struggled with droughts, outbreaks of cholera, malaria, and smallpox, and fluctuating mineral prices that turned boom into bust overnight. Ghost towns of weather-beaten wood and twisted rails sprouted across the landscape. Meanwhile, women on the frontier, often overlooked, honed the art of adaptability. Homesteaders endured isolation, schoolmarms taught pioneer children, saloon keepers and madams ran houses of entertainment, and scouts like Calamity Jane carved out reputations amid rumor and reality. Innovation thrived in unexpected corners of frontier life. Bank safes evolved after brazen daylight robberies, and stagecoaches mounted roof platforms for armed guards. The invention of barbed wire forever transformed open-range ranching by fencing disputed lands and igniting range wars, while telegraph operators, known as wire cowboys, transmitted news of stock prices and skirmishes at lightning speed. Over subsequent decades, the frontier spirit migrated into national policy through the Homestead Act of 1862, granting 160 acres to settlers willing to improve the land, and the Dawes Act of 1887, which sought to assimilate native peoples by parceling communal land into individual allotments. By 1890, the U.S. Census Bureau declared the frontier closed, marking the end of an era. Yet the Wild West refused to fade quietly from America's imagination. Legends lived on in early cinema's silent cowboy serials, in the spaghetti westerns of the 1960s that reinterpreted themes of honor and vengeance, and in the enduring popularity of modern Western literature and video games. The Wild West endures because it embodies universal quests for freedom, justice, identity, and reinvention, all set against one of the last great wild spaces on Earth. Every sunrise promised the hope of a new life, and every sunset reminded settlers that civilization was only a shootout, a stampede, or a broken treaty away from collapse.